Hey everyone, this is Destiny and welcome to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about part 2 of dispatch training and how to set up your dispatch company. And pretty much in the last video we talked about how to establish your entity, how to get your EIN, how to make sure that you have your dispatch agreement, and making sure that you receive certain documents from the owner operator and you give them certain things. So today we're going to get into the details of finding the load, how to find them, the things that you need to do. So stay tuned throughout this video so that you can learn what you need to do. So now that we have everything that we talked about in the last video, we're going to start looking for loans for the owner operator. So when you first start to get to know your owner operator, it's going to be a little bit difficult in the beginning, because sometimes the owner operator may say, well, Destiny, I want to go to Georgia, Tennessee, and Mississippi, but they're based out of, let's just say, Ohio. A lot of the times those states may not connect with Ohio, you know, in a money sense. So you're going to have to, as a dispatcher, you're going to have to actually get on the load board and do some research and say, okay, does Ohio match well with Tennessee, Mississippi, Georgia? What states match well with Tennessee? And you want to do it, you know, for at least 4 to 5 days to get the actual data from those lanes. So that's typically what I do when I bring on an owner operator. I basically ask them where they want to go, and then I go to find them the loads. For an example, if they're going from Maryland to Georgia, and if it's 700 miles, then that's pretty much what I'm going to look for. So the driver said, hey, Destiny, I want to go from Maryland to Georgia. I'm going to go into the load board. There are different types of load boards. You have DAT, it's different tiers. I have a video that I will link below to show you how to find the version that best works for you. And I have a free 30 days that you can use. Then you can use Truck Stop. Truck Stop is different. It's a lot different than that. It's not user friendly for like iPhones and Androids. You'll pretty much have to get on a computer or iPad to pretty much use it. That's why I prefer that. Now, once you have your load board, you can get onto the load board and you can look up loads from Maryland to Atlanta. For in our example, we're going to use Maryland to Atlanta. So I'm going to go on the load board. I'm going to type in origin, Baltimore, Maryland, destination, Atlanta, Georgia. And if they want deadhead miles, the deadhead miles from Baltimore, Maryland, I'm just going to keep it at 150 because I talked to my driver and my driver said, okay, Destiny, I don't want to deadhead more than 150 miles. In real life, we don't really deadhead more than 100 miles. Pretty much exactly in this market where we're at today, you really don't want to do that. You don't want to deadhead a lot. Now, sometimes you may, but you want to make sure that you put your driver in a really good area. So once I put all the information in, and if he has a drive-in trailer or reefer, I want to make sure that I am using only, not any, only. So on DAT, you have 2 options for picking a trailer, any and only. Please go ahead and pick only, because sometimes when a broker put the load on a load board, there may, especially if it's driving, they may say moving van or reefer, van or air ride. So you want to make sure that you're not missing out on loads because you do not have all those things in the search. So go ahead and put all of those options on only and find your driver load. Say if you have a load now, you're going to go ahead and call the broker. Before you call the broker, or while you're on the phone to call the broker, you're going to check the broker's credit. Now, when you're checking the broker's credit, you're going to have to use the driver's factoring company to check the broker's credit. There are a lot of different ways that you can do it. Like the factoring companies that I work with, you will have to text the broker's MC number to that factoring company. And they're pretty much, it's instantly, like literally. As soon as you text it, it's coming back, it's in the system. And that's pretty much what I do. Sometimes with different factoring companies, you may have to call in, you may have to log onto their portal. So you need to find out with your driver factoring company, how can you check the broker's credit? Call the factoring company up yourself to see how to do that. Once you have that information and you know how to check the broker's credit, because if you do not check the broker's credit, then your driver, if they have a bad credit score, then your driver pretty much probably will not get paid. I run everything through my factoring companies, and even with my drivers, I run it with the factoring company, okay? So once you check the broker's credit and it's good to go, now it's time to call on the load. So I'm going to pretty much mock it out for you all how I call a broker. And I'm going to call TQL because everybody knows TQL. The phone is ringing. Hello, hi, my name is Destiny. I was calling on this load from Baltimore, Maryland to Atlanta, Georgia for today for a drive-in. And they're going to tell me the load details. They're going to say it's picking up from here, it's first come, first serve, it's dropping off here, first come, first serve. The weight is this, the commodity is this, they need straps or they may not need straps. He's going to give me all of those different things. It's 700 miles and he says the rate is 1,000. We had to negotiate that. And the weight is 40. Okay. All right. Well, yes, all of those details work, but would you be able to do a 2,000 on the rate? He said no. He said 15. Okay, well, let me check with my driver to make sure that's okay. Okay, I'm calling my driver. The broker is on hold. Hello. Hey, Akeem. It's going from Baltimore, Maryland to Atlanta, Georgia. First come, first serve on both ends. It's paying 15 on a rate. Yes. You want to do it? Okay, the driver said he wants to do it. I'm picking it back up the phone to the broker. Hello? Yes, we can do it. Okay. I'm giving him all of my information as a dispatcher, and I'm going to give him my driver information. Yes, the phone number is 000-000-0000. The truck number 02 trailer 1153. And he's going to ask what your email address is. My email address? I'm giving him my email address. He has my email address. He tells me to wait for the break con. Okay, thank you so much. So that's one way. I already had a relationship with that broker. That's why I did not have to fill out a carrier packet. Now, if I had to fill out a carrier packet, then the difference is he's going to ask me my email address so I can get set up with that brokerage. So once he sends me his carrier packet, I fill out the carrier packet, and a lot of the times with the carrier packets, you may have to add in the notice of assignment, the W-9, proof of insurance, and proof of authority. A lot of the times they will allow you to do it right as you're going through the carrier packet. And sometimes you're not able to. You're going to have to send an email, and you're going to pretty much put all those documents into an email, and that's pretty much how you do it. Once you establish that relationship with that broker, if you do not have one, then you're going to establish it, and then once you finish that, you're going to get the rate confirmation. Once you get the rate confirmation, which is a legal document that you need to make sure that everything on that rate confirmation is accurate. You want to make sure the pickup date is right, the pickup, the drop-off date, the pickup time, the drop-off time. You want to make sure all of these things are correct. You want to make sure the commodity, the weight, the rate, especially the rate. You want to make sure your driver's company name is on there, your driver's name is on there, your name can be on there if they have a spot for a dispatcher, the brokerage name needs to be on there. All of these different things needs to be on the rate confirmation. You also need to read the entire rate confirmation. A lot of the times they will have, if your driver is going to get the detention pay, it's going to be in there too. So you need to make sure that you are reading over the rate confirmation in full. Once you read it in full, you can now sign the rate confirmation with your driver's first and last name and the date of the day that you're signing your driver's name. So the day's date. Okay? And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it from the beginning to end. So if you have not watched the first video, the first part of this, go ahead and watch the first part. Now, you sign the rate confirmation, the driver has it, the broker has it, because you want to send it to the driver, especially if he's the owner operator. Now, if you're dealing with an investor or an owner and he has company drivers, you need to make sure that you ask him, can I send over the rate confirmation as is, or what do you want me to take off the rate confirmation? A lot of the times they do not want the driver to see the rate. Sometimes they just want to see them to get the pickup and the drop-off information. Okay, so you need to make sure that you asking the owner or the investor those information, so that you will not cause any confusion. Okay, you don't want to cause any confusion in a situation where so you send in the rate and they don't want them to see the rate. Now, everything goes fine. Everybody has the rate confirmation. The driver has the rate confirmation. The broker. One thing I want to make sure that you know that you must do is stay in communication. I don't care if they have tracking, because sometimes the broker will put your driver on tracking and the tracking will still mess up. So I want you to get into the groove of texting or emailing or calling the broker. I pretty much like to either text or email, and I let the broker know when the driver is on his way or when she's on her way, when the driver picked up. Driver's on the way, the driver gets there, the driver is loaded, the driver is on his way to delivery, when the driver gets to delivery, and when the driver is unloaded. So 6 points of communication, and I'm going to say that again. When the driver is on their way to pick up, when the driver gets to the pickup, when the driver is loaded, when the driver is about to be going to the delivery, when the driver gets to the delivery, and when the driver is unloaded. I can show you email after email after email. Brokers be like, Destiny, thank you so much for your communication. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really hardly, if ever, have any issues. And if I do have issues, a lot of the times brokers will be like, okay, I'm in the system. Like, they know me. Like, a lot of brokerages know Destiny. And I'm so thankful for that. But they say, okay, well, Destiny, we give you a pass. They won't take out any money out of our rate just because we're late, because they typically know I'm going to communicate with them. So please make sure you communicate. Drivers, if you're dispatching yourself and you're learning this, please make sure you communicate with the brokers. And if you cannot, just make sure that sometimes you can share your ELD, which is a little bit more accurate than the tracking that they have, or just make sure that you answer the phone when the brokers call. This is just my advice. I can't tell you how to run your company, but stay tuned for part 3, where I pretty much finalize how to dispatch.